Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Kansas City Oasis. My name is Mark, and I'll be your MC for today. I'm pleased to welcome those here in our community center and those joining on Facebook Live to the Kansas City Oasis. Since 2014, Oasis has been the premier secular alternative to faith-based communities. We welcome all, regardless of beliefs or non-belief, race, gender, sexual orientation, identity, or any other trait. We feel that the human experience is better when it is shared, and we are so pleased that you have chosen to share this morning with us. Kansas City Oasis, we have 5 core values. The core values are: people are more important than beliefs, reality is known through reason, human hands solve human problems, meaning comes from making a difference, be accepting and be accepted. We have a great program lined up for y'all today. Our featured speaker will be Leechia Jones on stress management. Musical guest is the Swallowtails. The community moment will be given by Tim Rix. And now I'd like to introduce the Swallowtails. You can keep up with this amazing and unique duo at theswallowtails.com. You can also search for the Swallowtails on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Bandcamp. Their Venmo, if you would like to show them some love this morning, is right there. And welcome. It's all yours.
Hi, and thanks for having us.
Good morning. We're going to play a song called Cocoon. It's our song. Gonna go out for a little drive just to ease my mind. This last week slipped away. My cocoon, warm and safe. I just wanna see your face. It'll never be the same. Gonna get out of my weary mind. Stop wasting time, wasting away. Save this tragedy for another day. I only wish you'd call me my cocoon. There's plenty of room. My arms remain open for you. I mean no harm, and that's the truth. I just need some time in my cocoon.
need some time in my cocoon.
Thanks.
So this next song is called Lucky Penny. I wrote it about trying to seek adventure and just going after your dreams.
With her dog.
Let's cash in our lucky pennies and spend the next years living in a van with our dog. These heads of copper coins don't mean much to others, but we find optimism in them. That house on Campbell Street will be here with the maple tree we planted in our yard. Our truest friends will understand the petty people we can leave behind in the dust. Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep mountains and horizons, and in the rearview mirror chasing orange orbital orbs. We'll spread our roots and keep our wings. We'll ground each other even with the change in our pockets. Granite peaks are calm now. The aspen leaves are dancing with the wind in our favor. We'll drink whiskey by the fire, and in the morning I'll promise you fields of wildflowers. Let's
Wow, that was amazing. Give it up for Mickey P. and Rachel Lovelace, the Swallowtails. Can you tell, so that is a bassoon, right?
Yes, it's
Not
a
an
bassoon.
oboe.
It's not an oboe. They're
you-
very closely related. So the reed has they're called double reeds because there's two pieces of wood that vibrate together. So it's like different from a clarinet and a saxophone, but they're related, but not really.
We don't see bassoons a lot. It's like, it's amazing though, I love it. Thank you. We'll see you all later in the show. This week we have some birthdays and celebrations. Today we have Rusty Ramon, Shaylee Bollinger, Lindsay Mage on the 17th, and also on the 17th is Kim Hodges' birthdays. Yesterday was Clay and Melanie Bollinger's anniversary, so. If anybody else have any birthdays or celebrations they'd like to announce?
I'll be 75.
75. Yeah. You're holding up very well. 21, all right, big one. Who's there? Somebody over here, right? The 15th. Okay. Very glad you're all here to celebrate with us. If anybody in the future has any events or anything they'd like to have us talk about, we'd love to recognize all your events. We also want to welcome Chris and Jim from the Arkansas Society of Free Thinkers. You guys, they're right there. Watch your wallet around Jim, though. You got to watch yourselves. So he's pretty shady. He's pretty shady. They're looking to open an Oasis chapter in their area. So please introduce yourself to them during the coffee break, and if you have any ideas or things that might help them in starting a new Oasis, help them out. Oh, community groups are starting up after Labor Day. Community groups are a way to spend more time with a small group of people to get to know them better and creating a strong sense of community. They usually meet in the host's home every other week for 6 weeks. You are now able to sign up to join a community group. If you're interested, please fill out the Google form. The link is on our Facebook private page. It's pinned in the featured section at the top. It is on the kcoasis.org website, or you can scan the QR code that we've provided. If you have any questions about that, you can contact Julie Manning. Everybody done scanning? What's that? I aim to please. So, thank you. Mark your calendars for Saturday, August 17th. Heath Church will help us host a party in the parking lot for the Volker Neighborhood's Porch Party and Potluck. It'll be from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if any of you all were here last year, I have checked the weather, and it's not going to be the terrible hellhole that it was last year. Not guaranteed, though, so. Tomorrow we'll be serving at Micah Ministry. Micah Ministry serves hundreds of people a meal on Monday evenings from 5:15 to 7:15. They also help anyone, regardless of race, gender, religious, or non-religious affiliation, sex, sexual orientation, or any other trait. You can come join us in helping our less fortunate neighbors. Sign up on the Micah Ministries Facebook page. Look for Al or Denise. After serving, others go out to dinner, so you can plan to go to dinner afterwards if you're interested. But we'd love to see you, so we'd like to have as many people turn out. So this is our actual, I guess once a month we do? Yeah, it's our official night, but we usually have Oasis there every night, so. Yeah, you can just show up if you don't want to get with the program and do what they want us to do. But it's up to you all. And that brings us to our community moment. Tim Rix. His 3 words to describe him are original, generous, and patient. He does not suffer fools. That's why I'll be leaving here now. So it's all yours, Jim.
Thank you. Oh, there's a lot more coming. I did that in order to explain my hands are very important to me. I'm a dyslexic. I couldn't read or write most of my life. I have a tremor in my hands. I had double vision, so I was a mess. During that time, I found out that I had to make a living with my hands. I had to actually get out and do something to make a living. I couldn't use this, that I was given as much as I could do that. So I've had to learn that. I took that as an advantage. What I am is a folk artist. I'm 72 years old. I have my wife with me, a beautiful woman. I did that just to irritate her, because that's my work area, and she just drove crazy with that. I know a lot of you may be artists, because this looks like an artist kind of group, but don't get too big on yourself if you're an artist. Remember that Trump is an artist too. He's just a con artist. No, that's it. That's all I'm going to do on that one. Okay. I think that I've come about this. Let me see where my first page is. Oh yeah, that would be nice, Tim. Start at the beginning. Okay. I want to give a heads up to my parents. John Rix and Marjorie Rix, and his name has probably never been said without a sneer to it. But they took me to the arts. They put me in a situation where I was exposed to classical music, opera, paintings, dancing, you name it, we went there and we experienced it. So this is why I probably ended up becoming who I am as a bolo maker. The first time I saw a bolo on a man was probably 6 years old. I looked up at him and I said, that is one fantastic, secure individual that looks good. That stood out to me, and it keeps on coming back in many ways. When I was in the 60s in Chicago, we had the early hippie movement, and we didn't have clothes to wear. You know, you couldn't just go to a store and buy what you wanted. You have to kind of make it. So I had a pair of cut-off jeans where I cut them, and I put a patch in them, and then I had a shirt that had a chambray shirt, kind of like this. I ran over it with my mother's car with ink in it, so it looked like I was run over. So I learned how to repurpose early in life, that if you want something, I'm a kind of person who would see something on the road and just pick it up and go, I'm going to do something with that. The more it was run over, the more earthy it was, the better I liked it. I've been involved with a lot of things, canoeing. I still do a lot of sailing. Some of my highlights in my life was I got to meet and see Martin Luther King a few times. I saw Pablo Picasso. I went on many marches, many things, and I won't get into that because it's so fun, you know, getting hit by clubs and maced. I started off this endeavor in art, in probably woodworking. And I did working, I did fairly good, but eventually I was going to cut off my wrist. And those who have a radio arm saw know what I'm talking about. It just takes one mistake and you're out the digits. I moved to cut watercolors, and I started doing watercolor paintings. And that's a very hard medium, and I decided that I would do humans. And every time I did humans, they all looked like Frankensteins, either date or whatever. So I always put a positive and a negative at the end. I guess I never got that sport. I do have some work that I've done, but finding, I decided that people should wear art. And women have the real ability to get their jewelry, if you want to call it that, anywhere. They can go buy it thousands of places. Men, on the other hand, have a hard time doing it. First of all, they don't want to be labeled. Secondly of all, they may not have much taste. But I wanted something that young men could wear, and any man could wear, and dress himself up. Now, jewelry to me was something that elite would use to better themselves. Much more important to me that common people have access to it. I build bolos out of repurposed material. You will find them in the back. I'm donating a lot to Oasis. What doesn't go today goes back to me, though. But I'm not taking anything. Just make a donation to this organization that is good. All my work is one-off. So I've never redone anything. Everything that I've made, hundreds, has been new. So if you see something on me, this was built yesterday. And it's new. Nobody's ever seen it before. Nobody's ever had anything like it. So you may want to check out on that. Where I found art when I was young was probably at 9 years old when my mother dropped me off at UMKC. She was a professor there. And I would have a latchkey, you know what I mean. It was one of those things. I'd go to the library and go to the art department. I couldn't read or write, and I wasn't able to most of my life. So I went to the art department, pulled out the books. I pulled out the art books and started looking at them, and I started asking the question, what is art? What's the difference between rum-dum things that are shipped in by millions and art? What brings it over into that thing? And I think that's been a lifetime endeavor for me. The gift of being able to say, that one doesn't work. That one does. I started this when I was 65 years old. I say that now because sometimes it takes a lifetime to get to where you're supposed to start off. Don't forget to start off. Don't forget you have other things to learn, other ways of doing things. At this point, I should be about halfway. Okay, we're going to turn the page to something else. Bolos are magical. I walk down the street, people notice me. It's like a fish who's saw a sparkly spoon in the water. They're attracted to it. People are attracted to people that are confident. If you're confident, you will be attractable. Now, is it important as a man to be attractable? I have my nice wife, don't need anything. But yes, for your self-good, I think it's important to build yourself up and say, I am somebody to reckon with. This is something I do. This what I'm wearing is a piece of art instead of just a team member or something. I don't know. Okay, so I buy a lot of my materials on eBay. I go to lots of junk stores, garage sales I can't miss, and things that people discard is amazing. And I try to buy in bulk. So if somebody's going out of something and it's made in brass, I generally work in brass. The reason being is I want to keep my costs down and still have an artistic approach to it. Anybody can build an $800 piece of jewelry and make it look attractive. Try it for $18. Put that on. And that's what I do. I have some rules about building bolos. The first rule is keep it cheap. I always think of that. I think of the young men who go out and they could be wearing something nice and wearing a nice hat or whatever and can't afford it. I want my art to go to people of all types. If you can't afford it, even today, pick it up and say, Tim, I can't afford it. I can't even make a donation. It's yours. I didn't build it for myself. I've got plenty. I want them out in the community. So that's one rule. I try to keep my building time down to 3 or 4 hours. I think you get burned out after that. Your mind kind of slips and it gets to the point that you're not going to do any good. I work with epoxies, not welding. The smallness of my metal would be destroyed by heat. But the epoxies that I use are space age, and I've had to study them. I am self-taught. I've spent 8 years learning how to do just bolos. I kept to one thing. Don't be distracted, Tim. Don't go down different paths. Learn one well. Don't care about what other people think. The bolo is not for everybody. There might be 2 or 3 here that would really enjoy them, okay? But that's not what I'm into. Okay. I think the biggest thing I have to say is look at art in a new perspective, that it's all around us. You experience it every day. Life without art is very dangerous. I worked for Allied Signal Aerospace, had no art. The people went zonkers on me. People need art. Wear it. Be it. Be an artist. We all have it in us. You can go to the back. I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to go to the back, and you can look at my work. Remember that I put my own self into it. It's part of me, what I want to share with you. I'm so happy to have found this group at one point. Sometimes I shy away, sometimes I come back. I'm an avid sailor, so if his wind is blowing, I'm not here. Just period. I got my priorities. I thank you for the chance to having a talk with me. I followed my program a little bit, and I think I'm within my time limit. So I'm going to sash on. The table's right out there. Just take a look at the stuff. And if you want to, just cart it out and pay somehow Oasis a favor by helping them.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate your generosity. If you haven't had an opportunity to go back and look at his stuff, it's pretty amazing. I'm trying to decide if I'm a bolo guy or not. I'm not really sure. I'm a bolo guy? All right. Sounds like I'm a bolo guy. That's what Amy told me, so. All right. I did not see myself as a bolo guy, but we'll see. It's time for our coffee break. What's that? Oh, Swallowtails also have a merch table back there. So there's a lot of stuff you can check out. Try to talk to somebody new, introduce yourselves, and meet somebody new. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you all had a great coffee break, met some new and interesting people. I know we have a lot of new people, so if you see a new face, reach out and say hello. We're going to have the Swallowtails back up for some lovely music. They are getting ready.
This is our song, Sarah. And if you'd like to picture your inner child while we play it, that's usually what I do. I dedicate this to your inner child.
That was very nice. I love that guitar, and I finally figured out what the birds were. So, I know it took me just a minute, but
Yeah, I don't know if you can tell that I like birds.
yeah. And don't forget to show them some love. Here's their Venmo, and for you old weirdos, there's a cash thing here. So, I don't know who carries cash anymore, but who? Come on. Really? Barton, come on. Do better. Sorry. Oh, so we're going to have a speaker here in a minute. I want to remind everybody that our program is designed to generate conversation and engage our powers of reason, not as a forum to start debates. The following presentation has been prepared by our speaker and not by Kansas City Oasis. Please respect the views of our speaker, and if you have any questions, a question and answer period will follow. Our speaker is, I've been practicing this name all morning, but I'll probably get it wrong. Leechia Jones. She's saying I'm right, so. Leechia worked for Family Guidance for Behavioral and Health Care for 32 years before retiring in 2012. There, she was responsible for implementing and facilitating training sessions for staff and consumers, developing and facilitating training programs and seminars for area agencies and businesses. She was also the instructor for the Parent-Child Sex Education Program and the STEP program. She was awarded numerous awards over her career, which you can see in the online event for today. Leechia believes all people are special and unique and deserve to be valued and respected for who they are. Welcome, Leechia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Am I on? I'm on. Okay, I'll be careful what I'm going to say. Good afternoon. Ron said there would be more than 5 people here, so thank you. And I don't know if he paid any of you. Ron's handing out the handouts. Usually I do PowerPoints, but then you have to turn and make sure you see whatever. And I don't know if any of you are like me. When I'm sitting back there, I can never see what's up here. So what I'm going to talk to, you are getting a copy of. Before we start, I know I have 20 minutes, and usually when I do stress management, I usually do an hour, and that's how long it takes to do a good overview. And some of you are saying, no, we're out of here before then. But I have 20 minutes, so I'm going to be real quick. I want to thank some folks before I start. I approached Denise in March and asked her if I could do a program on stress management, and she said yes. And so, bless her heart, she did things to help me get there. Talked to Jason, and he gave me information and support, and I don't stand real well because I have multiple sclerosis, and so he said, we can have a chair, and I thought, I don't get up real well either, so I'm standing. So if you don't see me through part of this, you may want to see me crawling on the floor. Maybe I'll get up, I don't know. I also want to thank Ron. Ron and I have been friends 1,000 years, and I gave him my handout to look at, and just to look at, and he looked at it and he said, oh, that looks pretty good. I'm a B personality, and so I'm kind of creative and do things, and I don't always do things in sequence the way they should be. And so Ron looked at my handout, and I just wanted him to say, this is really great, and it looks really wonderful. And he looked at it, and his jaw tightened, and I thought, he's going to change some things. And so he looked at the font I had for Oasis, and he said, you know, you need to change that. The font needs to be different. And I thought, oh, okay. And then there were some other things he said I needed to change as well. And then he turned it over on the back. And I thought, oh God, don't take away my balloons. I mean, I love these balloons. And he said, well, you know, a lot of this doesn't make sense. You need to put it in sequence so it's where it needs to be. So I had to thank him for making those suggestions. I mean, I hated them, but they were accurate and they needed to be made. So I have to thank my friend. Okay, we're going to start. I have researched a lot of stress management courses, but the one that I really liked was by Dr. Donald Singh, who is a retired psychologist in Duluth, Minnesota, along with his wife, Nancy. And they formed a group called Whole Persons Inc. All they did all year was to research stress and come up with different information that would benefit people to know. So I like his definition, which says, it's our attempt as we try to adjust to what's going on. Life changes. We're going through a lot of changes now. A lot of people are crazy about what's going on. And it's important that you pay attention to what's going on today. Today is what matters. Today is where we are. And so we don't have any control over yesterday or tomorrow, but hopefully we can control today. One of the basic things that happens with stress, and one of the causes of stress, is change. Too many, too soon, too often, and a lot of times they're all happening at one time. When I was growing up, I never heard my parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, anyone ever mention that they had a stressful day in their life. They didn't. They went to work, they did what they had to do, came home, took their shoes off and said, what's for dinner? And now, I think it started in the late 60s, now people come home and they're stressed. And it's been an awful day, and I don't know if I can get through it or whatever. And they don't realize the situations that they're creating for themselves and that they're harming themselves, okay? The information that I'm giving you today, you will take this and use it, or you will take it home, and I'll need to let you know that this doesn't flush well, so it's not time for you to do that. But, you know, you can let your children color on it or whatever. You also need to know that stress isn't all negative. It's just like anything else. We have negatives and positives. Positive stress is the motivator. I'm under stress now, talking to you, and that's the positive stress that's keeping me motivated and doing what I need to do. Okay? And that's what got you here today, that positive stress. Do you realize that your bodies are under stress 24 hours a day? And it's that positive stress, it's that stress that keeps your heart beating and keeps you breathing. If not, you would be somewhere else and we'd be saying, oh, I just saw her the other day and she looked like she was doing okay. And now she looks like she's asleep. No, she's dead. Okay? So, again, we need that positive stress, the motivator. The stress is that stress that creates illnesses and changes the way we behave and all other kinds of negative things for us. And so I'm going to be talking about those, and you can follow with me on the handout that you have. One of the things I want to talk to you about is attitude. How many of you know people that have rotten attitudes? How many of you really time how long you're going to be with those people? Okay. I have people that are negative, and I've been involved with those folks, and I really minimize the time I stayed with them because they would suck the very life out of you. Remember when your grandparents or your mom would say, misery in joy's company? These people do. They want you exactly where they are. Attitude is really important. It's important to have a good, positive attitude. Granted, things don't always go right all the time, sometimes none of the time, but we still have to be hopeful and still look at, hey, there are some possibilities that things are going to change. Years ago, I did a class for parents that were going through a divorce, and it was court-ordered, and they had to attend. If they didn't attend, then they were in violation of the decree, okay? And they would be sanctioned. We provided this program 3 times a week to allow for the various schedules people had. It was a 4-hour class, they had to pay for it, but it was a minimal cost. I had a Saturday class, and 30 people were allowed to come, and everybody was coming in, and I was welcoming them and giving them the handouts that they needed to have, and anything else that they needed to know. So when I left the room, everybody was talking, and they were happy. There were some couples that came together because it's important that your children know they didn't cause this breakup, and you never place them in the middle of your situation either. So when I left the room, everybody was talking, there was a lot of laughter. When I returned, it was silent. You could have heard a hair fall on the carpet. It was so silent. And I thought, oh, maybe somebody died, and I didn't know. And so I walked in the room, and as I walked closer to the front of the room, on the whiteboard, someone had written out, F you, and they'd written it out. And, I mean, in cursive. I thought they did a real good job spelling it and everything. I looked around to see if my ex was there, and I thought, hey, you know, or any of his family. So when I noticed he wasn't, I thought, oh, I have another admirer. So I walked to the front of the room, and I looked at what had been written, and I picked up the eraser, and I just erased it. And then I turned to the group, and I smiled, and I welcomed all of them to the group. My job was to give them the information that they needed to have in order to make a situation better for their children. It wasn't for me to concentrate whoever wrote that on the board. Each one of you, you're entitled to your own opinion. I don't have to agree with that. I don't have to like it, but I'll respect it because that's your opinion, just like I have an opinion as well. So we went on, and I gave them information about the overview, what we were going to talk about, and then also where the restrooms are and that we were a smoke-free facility. And life moved on, okay? And so we don't get stuck. So again, when people say things to you that are harmful and negative, you don't have to take that in. If you do, that's your choice, but you don't have to make it something that you're going to believe, okay? Attitude plus aptitude equals altitude. You have a good, healthy, positive attitude, and you have brain cells at work, then that's going to help you get to where you need to be. May not happen the first time, second time, third time, but again, you will continue to try. I read someplace that said people don't fail, they just give up trying. I believe that. I believe that. Okay. The next item I want to call your attention to is worry. How many of you worry? Why? 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 Do you realize that worry is a senseless waste of time, energy, and effort on your part? Ask yourself these questions. Did it change it, you worrying about it? Did it make it any better, you worrying about it? Did it go away, you worrying about it? You answer no to just one of those, and why are you worrying about it? I don't worry. And they're going, yeah, you're on medication. No, I'm not. I learned that worry takes me away from the things that are going on that are positive. It takes me away from today. Worried about things that happened yesterday, can't change that. That's history, it's gone. Worried about things that's going to happen in the future, none of us can have any control over that. I don't. My oldest daughter has MS, and her MS is 1,000 times worse than mine. And I don't worry about her with her MS. I don't have any control over that. What I do have control over is that we talk every day on the phone 2 or 3 times. She lives in Tampa, Florida with her husband, okay? And we play Yahtzee on our tablets and that kind of thing. She fell in love with underwear a couple of years ago. Thank God she wears it. And so she found different types and colors and designs that she likes, so I would purchase those for us. And I focus on what I have control over. What do you have control over? Yourself. The only thing you control is you. You don't control your kids after they get to a certain age. You don't control the universe, the weather, nothing. You. And so your perception of what's going on, how you deal with those things, that's what you have control over. So if you want to try this exercise, you may. You put a plus on a sheet of paper, big plus, and then you'll see those other 4 statements on the sheet under worry, okay? And you put those in those boxes, and then those things that are important, controllable to you, you put those under that one, and then important, uncontrollable, and so on and so forth. And what you want to focus on are the things that are important, controllable. That's where you want to put your energy into. The other things, sometimes we just have to accept how things are, whether we want to or not. Okay? All right. So that is something that you can think about. Now, I know I'm not going to all of you run away and go, hey, that's really great, I'm not going to worry anymore. It's a process. Remember, one of the main causes of stress is change. And so anytime you decide, even if it's a positive change, you're going to go through the process and get comfortable with it, and then hopefully get it to a part where it works for you. All right. The next item I want to take you to is symptoms of stress. And there are symptoms of stress, and they're physical, emotional, and behavioral. Physical symptoms of stress could be chest pains. You find yourself being sick all the time, fatigue. Sometimes sexual issues can be a symptom, again, for you. And there's some other ones, too. Then there's the emotional part. Symptom of stress, your attitude's really bad. You have a tendency to want to pull yourself away from people, be by yourself. You're sad all the time, you're depressed, you're experiencing anxiety, cry a lot. Okay? And then the behavioral part is, how many of you smoke? Who was the smart ass that said that? Yeah, okay. Whatever you want to smoke. I don't care. My concern is, how much are you smoking? Is it increasing? Okay? And those of you who drink, some people would have an occasional wine. Now they're drinking a whole bottle, in a half an hour or something. So look at those changes. Also, some other behavioral things would be anger. You're angry all the time. You have a tendency to not only abuse yourself, but you're abusing other people, using foul language a lot. So those could be some of the symptoms. Now, what these symptoms tell you is they can weaken your system if they are the negative symptoms, okay? And you don't want to have a system, your immune system, that is compromised, because that sets you up for illnesses. Some years ago, there were some physicians along with researchers that did a study on people who had various types of illnesses. And what they came up with were different behavioral styles of those people. So after a number of years, and they tracked people who had cancer and anemia and colds. They were getting colds a lot, and heart disease, that kind of thing. And they found out that they fell into these certain categories of behavior. And it's important, because if you have a family history of heart disease or high blood pressure or so on and so forth, then if your immune system is compromised, if it's weakened by the harmful types of stress, then you could place yourself in that position as far as maybe developing that same type of illness. And so it's important that you're taking care of yourself and not doing anything harmful to your immune system. And guys, I want to tell you this, and all of your intelligent men, except with the person that made that statement. See, I thought Daryl would have said something like that, but it was you. Okay. Guys, you realize that you can get breast cancer too? You know that. And so you know you need to be checking your pecs. You know that. For any abnormalities, any sensitivity and that kind of thing. And what we know about men, when you look around the room, you need to realize why there are more widows than there are widowers. That's because women, we take care of ourselves. We go and have those disgusting tests that we don't want to have, but we do that because we know we need to, and we want to take care of ourselves. And guys, we want you around for a long time. Well, some of you. but you're important, okay? So don't be this macho person that says, oh, hey, it's going to go away, I'm not going to pay any attention to it. Well, yeah, do that. And what happens, not only does it go away, you go away with it, okay? So it's important that you take care of yourselves, please. And I'm picking on you, I am. But part of me likes you, I think. we can be friends. Listen, if Daryl and I are friends, we can be friends. All right. Now, moving along on the back, information for you. Now we get into the part where you can, and Jason said he'd hold up a sign and say, I'm okay. Okay. All right. Now, if you just hold up one, then I need, okay, I'm talking. All right. It's important when you look at that first statement, and I think about those times that I'm going to be in stressful situations, and so I prepare for those. When my ex-mother-in-law was alive, bless her heart, she's not anymore. But anyway, when she was, I would try to prepare for the comments that she would make that be offhanded comments, comments that were just really negative, and not to absorb those. Because I knew she didn't like me, and she didn't like my children either, bless her heart. Yeah, I say that tongue in cheek. Okay, the next thing on your sheet talks about when, okay, avoiding, okay, bother you. I want to get to the third one. I really, Oasis just really takes me away. I think this is really an incredible organization because all of you are volunteers and none of you get paid for what you do, but you do that because out of the kindness of your heart and the richness of your heart, and all of you need to be commended. I am really careful what I agree to do. A friend of mine, her dad died several years ago, and her dad treated me like a second daughter, and he was a second dad to me. And she called, and she was crying, and she told me that he passed, so we both cried. And I made the mistake of saying, oh, Connie, what can I do? Tell me, what can I do? I'll do anything you need me to do. Be careful when you say that, because when you say that, the person that you said that to, they're going to call you on it, and then they're going to expect you to do what you said you were going to do when you thought, I didn't want to do it anyway, but I said it because I was trying to be nice. So I said that to her, and so she said, well, I have relatives that are flying in from Chicago, and I need someone to pick them up, and I don't have anybody to do that. Well, at that time, I drove, and we drive a car, and so I could make it to Kansas City, and so I picked these people up, and they were wonderful people. I mean, we hugged, and we cried, and got them in the car, and drove them back, and had a nice evening, and they had some food that they had brought with them, and so I had that, and I didn't have to cook, and so it was wonderful. I thought, I love these people. The next morning we get up, and it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The room was too cold, or it was too hot, the bed was uncomfortable, the pillows sucked, and I thought, who are you people? What happened to the nice people I picked up from the airport? I kind of wanted to take these people to the funeral home and leave them too. And that's what I'm saying. When you make a commitment, make sure it's a commitment that you can do, not something that the emotion is taken over and you feel bad. Because anytime we lose someone, sure, we want to make things better, but we need to be able to tell them what we have the power to do. So I've gotten smarter since then, so if something like that occurs, I will say, can do this. I can pick up, sandwich stuff and bring it over. I can have things delivered. I can watch your kids for a couple of minutes. I can do things, okay? And so when I say that, then I'm committed to that particular thing. All right. There's some other statements on here, too, that you might want to take into consideration. And how many of you still work? Okay. So when I worked, I would get my clothes out the evening before, everything I was going to wear. So I didn't wake up that morning rushing around trying to find stuff that didn't match, didn't go with whatever. So it was right there. And so that conserved some time for me. Okay. All right. Moving on to, and again, rushing through this, and you have time to go back and kind of think about what we're doing. I don't know why I brought these glasses. I cannot see a darn thing out of them. I thought, these are the wrong ones. But anyway, I'll try to commit this to memory. All right. It's better if I don't look through them. How many of you exercise? Okay, what kind of exercise do? Do you walk? You work in the garden? The important thing is not to be a couch potato. It's to get up and be active and do things. Your body needs you to do that. So you don't have to spend a lot of money at an expensive kind of facility, but there are things that you can do around the house, okay, yard, walking. All right, next things that we can take into consideration too is relaxation techniques. Okay, those are important. Cut down on caffeine and coffee. My youngest daughter is a coffee drinker, and what I know, because I'm smart, I don't talk to her unless she's had 2 cups of coffee. 2 cups of coffee. And then we can talk. If I call her before she has coffee, I hang up. And then talk to her when she calls me back and she's had her coffee. Okay, eating right. We know we like our hamburgers and french fries and that kind of thing, but you need to also include fruit and vegetables in there and try to have a healthy diet, okay? It's important. Your bodies need that, okay? Meditation. Also, breathing. Have you noticed when you're upset, when you're angry, we don't breathe? And you need to breathe. Your brain needs to have oxygen in order to make good informed decisions, so you need to breathe. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth and filling your lungs, okay? You want to continue to breathe. By the way, I love the bassoon. I do. Okay, I wanted to make sure I said that before I forgot it because I'm old, okay? And I wanted you to know. Okay, management, time management techniques. How many of you have hobbies? Okay, legal ones. Okay. It's important that we have an opportunity to play. I like to play. I like to play cards, other games, that kind of thing, but it's important. Remember that old adage, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack dead. Okay? So it's important that you are playing and having some fun. Okay? Get plenty of sleep. How many of you get 8 hours of sleep? And some of you can deal with less sleep. Yeah, I know. It's kind of, but ever so often if we miss out and if we're retired or we have some time, maybe we can take naps later and kind of, yeah, you do that. I like doing that too. Okay, the next thing on the sheet is laugh more. I like jokes, okay? And I'm going to read you this little situation. Talking about a sparrow, okay? This was a little sparrow, and he was a nonconformist, and so each year he watched his family fly south, and he thought, you know, I don't really want to go this year. I want to stay here. You know, that's just really a waste of time for them to fly there and then fly back, and then we fly there and fly. I'm going to stay because, hey, I can stay here and I can have all the food they're not going to eat, and I can stay in their different places. It's going to be a lot of fun. So what happened was, as the months began to move by, it started to get colder. And he thought, oh, I don't remember it being cold, but he had always been in the South when it had been cold. Oh, that's why they left. It's really cold. So he thought, well, maybe I need to go. So he thought, okay, I think I'm going to start out and I'm going to fly and be with my family. So the little sparrow started to fly, and he's flying. And the more he flew, he ran into weather that was getting colder and colder. And before he knew it, frost was developing on his wings, and then ice developed, and he couldn't fly anymore. And he fell in this, on the ground in this farm. And so he's lying there, and he thought, oh gosh, I'm just going to die, I'm going to die. And he's lying there, and while he's lying there contemplating his death and that nobody would find him, this cow walks into the barnyard and craps all over him. And he goes, I know I'm going to die now. This is just awful. So he starts moving around. And what he noticed was the more he moved around, the manure began to warm him, and the frost melted on his wings, and he could flip and flop. And he said, I think I can fly. So he's dancing around and chirping and what have you. And so while he's doing that, this barn cat walks into the yard. And he goes, what is that noise? And he starts looking around, and he thought, where's that noise coming from? And so he sees all this movement in the manure. And so he walks over there, and he thought, I wonder what that is. So he starts digging through it, and he finds a little sparrow. And he eats him. That'll just make you want to cry. So there's a moral to the story. Not everyone who craps on you is necessarily your enemy, and not everybody who digs you out of crap is necessarily your friend. So, if you're in a pile of crap and you're happy and you're warm, you may want to keep your mouth shut. Okay, moving along, I think it's important that we look at what we have. And when I look at folks that are homeless or folks that are really making decisions whether to buy food or their medication, and it makes me feel good that I don't have those situations in my life. So we need to be thankful for what we have, because all right, I'm rushing. Okay, so thankful is really important. Also, when you make a mistake, and remember what I said, people don't fail, they just give up trying. When you make a mistake, don't say things to yourself like, oh gosh, that was dumb. How stupid are you? I thought if anybody was dumb in the family, it was the other folks, not me. Be nice to yourself. Treat yourself better than you treat your best friend. Say nice things to yourself. When you find out when something doesn't work, then say, okay, I know I won't do that anymore. I'll do something different, okay? I won't follow that trail again, all right? So be easier on yourself. And Ron and I, we were talking about grudges driving down here, and I'll be honest with you, I had some situations that occurred, and so I'm dealing with some things, and I'm trying to work through those, okay? Because the only person that remembers how you were treated was you. The person who said whatever they did to you, they've gone on with their lives. They're not waiting and going, oh, hurt them. They don't even remember it for the most part. So again, work on trying to process and accepting that happened and go on. Remember, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Doesn't need to be yours. And so on and so forth. You can read the rest of these. And what I like is, don't stumble over anything behind you, all right? Overdone with, gone, history. I want to thank all of you for participating and being good people, even you. I'm going to find out who you are, okay? Because I want to remember your name. I don't even know I talked to you. Anyway, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. All of you are incredible people. What you do for Oasis is incredible. And thank you for building such a beautiful place. And before I stop, I want to say something to Storm, my friend, and Daryl, and who was it, Dave, that told me to break a leg. Okay, thanks. But thank you all for making this a beautiful day. And I'm going to say something that I've always wanted to say. My name is Leechia Jones, and I approve this message.
Thank you. Wonderful. A lot of good info. Oh, do you have time for some? We have time for some questions.
Oh,
Just one. Okay. One question. Make it a good one. Who's got a good question?
okay.
Somebody's got a question.
Dirty.
Al's got a question.
I did a good job. Thank you.
There you go.
You said that a long time ago people would come in and they wouldn't talk about stress. They would come in and just, have dinner. And then sometime in the 60s, people started doing it. Do you think it's because people had less stress then, or they just didn't talk about it?
I don't think they feel comfortable talking about it, and that's sad because we need to, if we're dealing with situations, we need to talk about it because if we don't, we hold them inside, and that becomes toxic, and before you know it, it starts waning on you and changing how you behave, how you deal with certain situations. So if something's really bothering you, if you have a good friend you can talk to, there are telephone numbers that you can call and talk to folks, but it's important to get it out because you don't want it to eat you up. Life's too short, guys, you know that. And we need to enjoy what we have.
Thank you again. That was wonderful.
And I'm going this way.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going this way.
Thank you so much. It was nice to get to hear from you. I do have another couple announcements. Some people have had problems with the community group sign up. I believe the page is up and running now, and there should be no problems. We also have another donation of a one ticket for the Casey Current game. 6 tickets? Up to 6. Yes. She tried to tell me all this before, but I was very confused.
It's okay. He all needs help. Okay, so I obviously love soccer. Isn't it better? Sorry. Okay, so this Wednesday night, Casey Current Stadium, I have 6 tickets, very damn good seats, that I'm giving you guys. All you need to do is donate to Oasis, and let me know you donated to Oasis at least $25, but hopefully more. The seats are like $60, $70 worth, and you will get a ticket to go to the game. And you can see the Casey Current at 8 o'clock, and they also have a 5 o'clock game that you can see from, and I don't remember who's playing.
Thank you for your generosity. That sounds like another good deal for Oasis. First, I need to check and make sure nobody wrote any notes on my wall for me. No FUs up there. What? I know. Questions? We'll go right on by that. Okay, while our musicians comes up for their last song, we want to remind everyone that Kansas City Oasis is a 501c3 nonprofit. It's run solely on donations and volunteers. If you'd like the speaker and the music today, please consider donating through kansascityoasis.org at /donate, or you can also donate with Venmo. The best way to support Oasis is with reoccurring monthly donations. They're the most helpful. And we're going to bring back the Swallowtails. Can you guys tell us where we can catch you in the future, where you'll be performing? Or?
So we'll be playing at the Westport Bowery this Thursday, August 15th, is our next show, which is in the Westport Flea Market. It's the venue within the Westport Flea Market.
But if you go to our website, all of our shows are listed on there as well.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
So we just want to thank everybody for having us. we kind of have, we'll just do like show of hands.
Oh yeah, we
Do
have options for you.
Yeah, do we want to be sent away with a rock and roll,
Banger.
or do we
Or-
want like a
Do we want like an uplifting, like
uplifting,
ballad?
good message, positive message?
It's still kind of rock and
All
roll.
right, so rock and roll.
All right, I knew
Rock
it.
and roll, I knew it.
I knew it. All right, this is our song called Take It Slow, and it's a reminder that we're on a dead rock spinning through space with very limited time to just like do whatever you want. I drive mild and slow. Decide where you want me to go. If I'm you and you are me, reflect on my brave thought. We make up a small portion of all existence. Right beside planets in the distance, and stars are reflections of our bodies. There's gas and dust, explosions and great energy. So take it slow, we have so much time. Take it slow, we're just living a big time. Oh, we have to take care of one another and spread the love. See your pain, I've walked your road. Weight is such a heavy load, and at your door the world still spins. There's no starting over again. Just because you didn't choose this reality doesn't mean that you can't win. Just because you're not fast enough doesn't mean you don't fit in. And if you start listening to yourself inside, your intuition is bad. Through the gates of hell, it knows damn well you're strong enough for this. So take it slow, we have so much time. Take it slow, we're
I think y'all made a wonderful choice on the rock and roll, so that was definitely the way to go and end the show. So after Oasis, we will meet for lunch at the Strange Chef Collective on the Plaza. It's a chef-driven food hall with multiple restaurant options. You can continue the conversation with other Oasins. There's free parking nearby, but the attached Cascade Hotel parking garage does have a cost. The address is 4620 Warnell Road, Kansas City, Missouri. And finally, before you all head to lunch, we'd appreciate if everybody just looks around. It helps us keep the building clean. Pick up around you and anything you see, and would be greatly appreciated. And thank you all for coming. Oh, sorry. Next week's featured speaker is John Jr. Bruce, Buffalo Soldier Stories. The musical guest will be Kemet Coleman. And if he doesn't look like a cowboy, I don't know what anybody that looks more like a cowboy than him. So I think that's it. Thank you all.